series of 4 that I did for a company called ColDesi. In the first series, or the first video in this little installment, today's is the ColDesi set. So it's got a little ColDesi globe. One side it has their logo, the other side it has their name, and then there's some 3D French. I love it. I hope you guys like it as much as I do. We have some really cool 4D effects coming soon, so come back for those, and I will see you all soon. Bye!
Bye!
So we are going to begin by shortening the nail that is going to be used for the spinning globe, so it's not quite such a big length difference between the globe nail and the other ones. So I'm going to take the nail tip and I'm going to use my e-file and I'm just going to carve away the shape. If you want to try to use the clippers, be very careful because these plastic nail tips tend to crack or turn kind of a white color. And if you don't want either of those things to happen, use an e-file or a hand file and file the length down. Then I'm going to use some acrogel and I'm going to pat a very, very thin layer over the nail, trying to keep it just as thin and as smooth as possible. As you are patting this out, kind of keep in mind the entire shape of the nail so that you have a peak of the product in the middle and it tapers out to the sides. You want to have the most product concentrated down the very center line of the nail. Not so much that it looks like an edge nail where there's like a sharp edge, sharp peak or edge, but so that it just kind of fades up and over like a nice little hill. Then take a piece of wire and press it into that thicker portion of the product right in the middle. Kind of hold it in place after you sort of pat and squish it in so that the piece of wire is encapsulated. Hold it in place so it doesn't wiggle and cure. If you need to file the nail, go ahead and do that with a hand file and then apply a coat of gray gel polish over the nail, not hitting the wire. After the nail has been coated with gel polish, apply a layer of gel sealer or gel top coat over the top to make it nice and shiny and smooth. After that's done, we're going to be sculpting the globe inside of a little nail mold. If you are curious about how you make this mold, I can put a link to a video in the description box below from a few years ago, or actually maybe just a year ago when I made this mold, and it has been so useful over the past year. I use it quite often, and it is such a nice little tool to have. So if you have never made a mold like this, I highly recommend you give it a try. And like I said, check out the video below. It's a Cinderella carriage. So we're going to make our little half circle, pop it out of the mold, set it aside, and make a second one. After you have both of them made, take your e-file and carve away the edges because they aren't going to be perfect, so that you have two nice half circles. After you have both of them done, you might want to take a hand file and straighten them out. Then you're going to take an e-file that is a narrow bit and you're going to carve two little grooves on the opposite sides of each dome. Then take some beads and you're going to glue the beads into the little grooves so that you have a place for the wire to go through, so that as you're turning the globe, it doesn't feel loose. If you just have the little grooves made and you try to put it on the wire to make the spinner, it's going to feel really loose, it's going to wiggle, and it's not going to hold its position very well, and it'll just kind of keep spinning indefinitely. And if that's what you want a fast spinning spinner, don't put in the beads. But if you want something that's a little bit more slow and meticulous when you spin it and has a little bit more friction, put in the little glass beads. Then glue the second half of your circle, your sphere, on top of the first one over the beads. Hold it in place until it seems like it's going to stay, and then take some more white acrylic and fill in any gaps that go around the whole place and just make the seam look a little more flawless. As you are doing this, it may get a little less perfectly globy. So when you make the little pieces out of the mold, they come out and they're shiny and they're perfectly spherical. So when you go to do this little seam fill, it gets a little less just perfect and smooth and shiny, which is fine because you get to just buff it up a little bit and it, all of that gets completely fixed. The only thing that kind of you want to keep track of as you're doing this is just that you don't take off too much as you're filing and buffing it, that you make it so that your seam is visible again. But just take a buffer block and just buff over it and it'll smooth itself right out without any issue. Plus you're going to paint over it, so any little oopsies pretty much are going to be covered up anyhow. As you are buffing over your little circle globe, make sure you look at it from all angles so that it looks just as you want it. Slide the globe onto your piece of wire, give it a little spin to make sure it spins as you're hoping it would. Cut off the extra wire and then take some more of your acrylic, it can be clear or white, and add just a little touch of it to the end of the wire so that it doesn't come off of your piece of wire. You want it to stay on there. After you have completely attached it to the end, then as you can see, one of my beads also disappeared. I always do this when I make a globe. I put a bead on each side and then I end up getting rid of one because you really only need one of them. And it makes it really hard to put it on the wire if you have two. So just really put it on one bead. But after you have all of that done, your globe is attached, then you're going to take your colors of gel polish. You need 2 shades of red, like a classic true red that's maybe a little bit on the orange side. You want it to be really bright. And then more of a burgundy berry shade of red. So we're going to take the first one and paint an eighth of our globe. So we're going to do a fourth of a half of the globe. After you've done that, so this is going to be the one side. So you're going to do a fourth of it on the one side. You're going to go right beneath that and you're going to paint it with the darker shade of red. So you're going to either want to fully cure or flash cure that first color so that you don't have any bleeding between the two shades. And then you're going to do the second section and then the same thing. After you've done this, you're going to either want to fully cure or flash cure. I would really recommend doing a full cure between each of these colors because sometimes if you just flash cure gel polish, especially if it's a bigger area, it will flash cure the very surface, which is what you're trying to do. But underneath, the gel polish is still very, very wet. And so you can get a wrinkling effect. It'll actually ripple on you. So if you're worried about that at all, then fully cure it. Don't just flash cure it. And then next to the brighter shade of red, you're going to do yellow. And then in the very last section, you're going to do a teal blue. Or like an aqua blue, really pretty color. And so you're going to fill in all of those. If they need a second coat, go ahead and do that. I would recommend doing a second coat, especially if there's any streakiness at all. You want them to look so smooth and so perfect. The other thing is because we are going to do some black outlines, if there's any, unevenness in the lines between the colors, it's okay. I'm going to take some white gel polish and I'm going to paint the back of the globe with that. The reason to add a coat of white gel polish is, for one thing, when you go to paint the wording with gel, if you're going to be using something like a gel paint, it will not paint very well over just the acrylic, but if you have a layer of white gel over the top of it, it will paint a little easier. Plus, I think white gel paint looks a little smoother and creamier than just the white acrylic, so I think it improved visually the look of the white background. Now I'm going to take my black gel paint and I'm going to be adding the different sections of the little front of the globe that has the 4 quadrants of color. I'm going to use a striper brush and I'm just going to first outline all of the shapes that I did, kind of just going in one direction. So I'm going to go from the nail to the tip of the end of the wire and just add those first 3 stripes. So on the ends of the color and then right down the center. One thing that's hard for me is usually when I'm outlining things, I'm trying to go for the skinniest line possible. And for this particular logo, the lines are really bold. And so I had to intentionally make them wider and thicker than what my instinct is to do. So I went through and I just added a little bit more to them and I made them a little bit thicker so that they more closely resembled what I was going for. Then I'm going to make a polka dot in the middle of the 2 sections. So like right down the middle of the teal section, in between the teal and the yellow, just to give me kind of a mid reference, and then make a line from the point at the top and bottom of the globe right through the center of those sections so that you have an ending. You end up with 8 different sections to your globe. So there's that line. And then at least, you have the 4 and then the 4 colors. So after you have those done, then you have all of the vertical lines fully cure. After you've fully cured that so that you don't mess up those lines that you've worked so hard on, then you're going to repeat the process going in the other direction. So you're going to begin by just cutting, the reds apart and the yellow and teal apart, just going right through and making that nice line right through the middle. That's it for that. And then on the other side, we're going to be writing ColDesi. So I'm going to be just going right in the center since it's a 7-letter word, COLDESI. I'm going to go to the center letter, which is the D. I'm going to paint that right in the middle of the white back that I have on this. And then after I have the D done, I'm going to paint the E. And then after the E, then the S and the I. If you have never done much writing with a paintbrush, then you may find this to actually be super tricky. This might be the most difficult part of this design and any design where it comes to writing something. So before you go, if you're not familiar with writing with a paintbrush, and even more specifically writing with gel polish or gel paint, is practice off of your project. So before you go and start doing it on a project or a client, if it's something that you really have no experience with, practice on something else. But if you do make a mistake, if any of your letters or your lines go a little bit crooked, a little bit not where they're supposed to, then you're going to be able to just keep in mind that you can take whatever color is your other color, so your background color, and you can clean up the lines, which is what I did with some white gel paint. And then you're going to write the rest of your word. So I started with just the Desi, just to kind of get half of it done and kind of keep it so that I had it in 2 sections, and then I wrote the Col in front of it. And then apply a layer of gel top coat over your globe, and then this nail is all done. It's so fun to make these little extra movement pieces. I love the way that this turned out. And now we get to do the next one, and I'm going to be doing a 3D French, which I've been really feeling lately. I've been really liking the 3D French. So we're going to take our nail bed color, which is just a soft semi-sheer pink, and I'm going to be sculpting the nail bed with that, creating a little bit of height to the free edge. And as you're sculpting that smile line, you're going to just Like I said, make sure you have enough height on it. After you have it done and you have put this into your lamp to cure, you will want to take a little hand file that is a straight edged file. You don't want one that's like the boomerang shape, and you're going to sharpen up that smile line even more. The sharper you can get it, the better. Then I'm going to take the same gray that I used to paint the nail bed of the globe finger, and I'm going to be adding just a very thin little line of that gray going all over the smile line and a little bit below onto the nail. Just get a nice section. And then after you have that done, take some white acrygel and we're going to be creating a little clear protective layer over the top of the gray. Same thing, you want a really nice sharp smile line on this section, and make sure that as you are sculpting this, there's gray underneath all of your clear. You don't want any spots where there isn't any gray. So if your gray is thin, make sure that you don't allow the clear to go farther down than the gray. File that smile line and then do a black edge. So we're going to repeat the same process with some black. You don't want to overdo the black. You want all of these, the gray and the black lines, to be super thin and skinny. Cover up the black with your clear acrygel once again. Same thing, sharp smile line is the goal here. And then after you have that done and after that smile line is filled in, I did the 3 nails with the 3D French, and so I picked 3 of the colors from the ColDesi 4 colors to be doing the rest of the tip in. And since there were 2 shades of red, I decided that I would do just one of the reds. So I'm going to show you first the aqua teal color, which is my favorite, like I indicated before. I really like that one. And then I'm going to do the yellow in the middle. If any of your colors do not completely cover the black underneath them as you're doing this, as you can see the yellow looks a little patchy, you may want to do a second coat. Same thing with the red. If it needs a second coat, go ahead and fill that in as well. And then after those are done, you're going to encapsulate the tip with more of your clear acrygel. After you have completely encapsulated all of those tips and they're all done, then you can go ahead and file these into shape. As you are filing these nails, you want to keep an eye on the design. As much as you're looking at the shape structurally and you're looking at the shape as far as just how it goes from side to side, you're also going to want to make sure that after you're done filing that the design looks good, because you're revealing it as you're filing. Then I'm going to apply a layer of gel base coat over the nails that I'm going to be writing ColDesi on, which is going to be the index and middle nails. After that gel base coat's on there, I'm going to be writing COL on the teal nail. And as you are, if you're wondering why I added the layer of gel base coat, like I said, with the white layer of gel polish over the back of the globe, it will not work very well to write with any gel product on top of a rough textured anything. So the back of the globe was buffed, wasn't smooth. Gel paint, gel polish isn't going to write very well on it. This nail is just filed. Even if you buff it really, really well, it is not going to be as smooth as a layer of gel base coat is going to give you. So if you are planning to paint on top of an acrylic nail and you want to do fine art and not add a layer of color over the top of the whole thing, or if your color just isn't sitting right, try a layer of gel base coat. I know a lot of people think that gel base coat is unnecessary over the top of enhancements, and to a certain extent, I do agree. I usually don't apply gel base coat over my enhancements, over my clients' enhancements. But if your gel isn't sitting right, give it a try. It doesn't really hurt anything to try it. And if it makes a huge difference, then that's a headache solved. And if it doesn't make any difference, then maybe try a different brand of gel polish. But give the base coat a try. It's a product for a reason. So definitely necessary over the top of this. And it applies a little thinner than gel top coat does, because you could do gel top coat if you don't own any base coat. But because top coat has a slightly more puffy texture to it than base coat, it's just going to make the whole nail a little more bulky. So a layer of gel base coat gives you that really nice sleek look, and it helps your painting go a little easier. Because of the shape of these nails, a little bit of the letters gets cut off, especially like the corner of the D. That's okay. You do the best you can. It just is, you want to get as much of all of the lettering in there as possible. Then apply a layer of gel top coat over all of your 3D French nails, and we just have one left. After you're doing all of this top coating on these, I love the way, especially on the ones that didn't get the base coat, that 3D French looks so nice and it really just pops open. I know that for me, top coating nails that are matte or, rough looking, they're filed, they haven't had that luster. When you apply that top coat, it is like a whole new world and everything just looks so nice. So going onto the thumb, we're going to repeat the process that we did for the globe, where we're going to paint the quadrants of the nails in the 4 different colors. But instead of doing them where I did like the 2 reds together, I'm going to do the yellow in the upper left-hand corner and the darker red in the lower right-hand corner at the same time. And then apply a second coat to each of those if I feel like it needs it. The yellow especially. Yellows just aren't quite as pigmented, but if the darker red feels like it needs it too, it doesn't hurt anything to apply that. But as you are applying those little layers of your gel color over the top of this, you are going to want to make sure that they don't kind of bleed together in the middle. And if your gel polish, different brands tend to self-level more than others. If yours likes to, do just one color at a time instead of doing it where you do like the opposite corners. But if you can get away with it, it does save you some time on curing. So then after those first 2 corners are done, I'm going to fill in the last 2 corners with the brighter red and the aqua. Once those are both filled in, second coats. If you did second coats on the first 2 colors, even if the second colors don't seem like they require it, apply a second coat because it'll keep the nail all at the same level so that there aren't like high spots and low spots if that's something that you seem to notice. So then we're going to do the other second coat going over. Painting this nail that's in the 4 different colors was so satisfying to me because making those lines super, super straight was just like a personal challenge, and I really enjoyed that. And now we're going to go through and repeat the process of adding the stripes down the middle. We're going to first just make an X right across the center of the nail. Same thing like I said with the other one. My goal usually is to make super skinny lines. So after I did them, I was like, nope, you got to make those a little thicker. So then we're going to go through and just widen them. And then after you have that done, you're going to make the extra lines that are splitting the sections. And since this nail is not a circle and it's not going to give you like that perfect 4 sections, keep just the very center of the nail where the sections look perfect, especially towards the tip. The outer sections are going to get much skinnier. That is okay. But again, make sure that those inner ones look like they are the right proportions. Add the other lines going in the other direction. And then after those are all done, you can go ahead and cure this and apply a layer of gel top coat. Once this set's all done, you can try it on, have fun with it. Thank you so much to ColDesi for working with me on this project. This is one of 4 designs, and the other ones have a lot of effects coming up, so I highly recommend you come back and check on them for the next 3 Fridays. And if you are interested, I can put links to ColDesi's information, their website, and some of their Instagram accounts down below, so check for those, and I will see you all next time. Bye!